Okay, and welcome back again. Take two. This is D&D and Things, the channel where we talk D&D and anything else nerdy, psychological, whatever. I am Trebor EHHP, also known as Rob. And of
I'm
course,
Rosa, also known as Jen.
today we're doing one of our Thingz Talkz, our for the most part bi-weekly chat show where we talk about anything and everything. And since it's Father's Day, we thought since we did a nice Mother's Day special, we would do another Father's Day special. Put your big girl panties on though, because like our Mother's Day one, we're going to rattle some fences.
Yeah.
But before we get too far into our topic, just some housekeeping things. If you haven't already, we are partnered with Humble Bundle. You'll see the little sponsor thing come up every once in a while. If you haven't already, in the description below, there is a link to the Humble Partner page. Any sort of purchase there does go to supporting us and our channel, and we greatly appreciate it. And we are on everything. We actually have to adjust our D&D and Things YouTube thing because we did fix that, so there's no space.
Yay.
So no matter where you go, it is D&D and Things, no spaces, with a Z on the end. Mass Effect Legendary Edition, we're still working on streaming that once a week. Tune in on Tuesdays or Thursdays, depending on what's going on that week. Or sometimes and Thursdays. So Tuesdays and or Thursdays, depending on what's going on that week. Rosa's still kind of figuring out what her schedule's looking like, so she's working on some stuff. There are a few videos that are going right to YouTube, aren't streamed first, so if you haven't already, go check those out. A lot of those are some of the games that are in the Humble Choice package for the Humble Partnership. The Humble Choice, if you don't know already, you get 12 games on normally Steam. Sometimes they're on the Epic Games Store as well, but 12 games on Steam that for $13, $12.99, so $13. This month's big one was Civ 6 with all of its expansions, which is like a $300 value. So you're getting a $300 value of a game plus 11 other games for $13.
Yeah, and there's some other good games. There's the one zombie game. There's where you actually play as the zombie, not a zombie killer. You actually try and destroy the human race. Desolate is on there, which is a co-op, an online co-op, like horror survival game. So like if you like The Forest, which we have a lot of videos up of that, go check those out. But those are just a couple of the games that I noticed that were, they looked interesting to us. So, but
yeah, and I've played Civ in the past. I don't think I've done any Civ for our channel, but I do a lot of those 4X games. If you don't know what a 4X game is, like explore, exploit, expand, and eliminate, or something like that, or exterminate, or something like that.
Okay, gotcha.
It's for whatever. Other things on our channel. I don't know if there's a whole lot right now.
Not right now.
Over the summer, some of our videos might be hit or miss because it is the summer. We will be planning to take a vacation with the girls, hopefully. We're planning on bringing the little one from Pittsburgh home at some point this summer, so we also might be moving.
Yeah.
We're in the bedroom right now because instead of the living room where we normally do this, because it is 9 billion degrees outside, and we're sweating our butts off.
It got over 90 degrees, and this is the only room with air conditioning.
I realize that some of y'all coming from the other side of the U.S. are dealing with much harder weather than us, but when you're from Pennsylvania and like comfortable weather is 60 degrees in the spring and fall, 90 degrees and humid is like throw some water on me.
as we watch the neighbors swim in their pools.
Yeah. Yeah, on either side.
Yeah.
We're like, water. Before we get into the main topic of the week, for those of you that have been following us for long enough, you know that we do our highs and lows on the channel. It's something that Jen and I have been doing since we started dating over a year ago.
Yep.
It's something that helps us communicate well with each other. It helps us know how to support each other. It helps us to know when things were good and bad.
Yep.
It's a no bars held. There's no judging each other if one of our lows is because of the other person. Like,
No.
there's no judging. It helps us to be open to communication. If you don't do it with your partner, we strongly encourage you to do so, because it keeps an open forum of communication with each other to be able to talk with each other.
Right.
So
Yeah, communication is very, very important to both of us, and you know, it's something that I'm still learning. Having somebody that's so, you know, I'm not saying that I don't have partners that don't care what I'm going through, but someone that is actively like, what is wrong and what can I do to help? Like, if there's nothing I can do to help, like, we'll just keep talking about it, or I'll sit here until you feel better. Like, and that's still new for me. So the highs and lows have definitely gotten easier to do as time has gone by.
do you have yours, or do you need a moment?
I might have mine. I think my low is the new development of my daughter's separation anxiety. She always never really liked it when I left, or when I told her that she had to leave, or, you know, like when she first started school. And if I, you know, obviously right now I'm traveling a lot back and forth to Pittsburgh, which is about 3 hours from my home, not to mention, you know, back and forth to Johnstown. And so it's just, there's been a lot of driving. So you know, she never likes it when I leave, but lately it's been like full blown meltdowns, screaming, turning purple, crying. And I know it's just because I'm not home all the time that she's struggling, but it pulls on your heartstrings, because it really makes you think, you know, am I doing the right thing, you know, being away all this time, like, you know. But I just have to keep thinking that, you know, she's not the only little girl in my life right now, and there's another very important one in Pittsburgh that needs somebody to love her and care for her. And so that's been a real low this week. Like, broke down crying, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, like screaming at me, just mommy, mommy, mommy. And I'm like, this kid has never done anything like this. So that hit real hard this week. But the high was Heaven turned a year old this week on Tuesday, and I have lots of pictures of it. It was beautiful. The social workers did an amazing job. We did an under the water theme, and they put balloons and streamers and all kinds. I mean, they went as far as to get the little stinker and Ariel costume.
Aww.
Like, she has a little red wig and like a mermaid tail, and like, girl looks freaking cute.
Oh,
So cute. But we were able to go out there with Stinky, my daughter.
I guess I have to pull my Trident costume back out.
Right. But yeah.
Time to see if I can still fit in my spandex pants.
If not, we'll get you new ones. But yeah, my mom and Stinky and I went out and were able to celebrate her birthday with her this week, which was awesome because it was the first time that Stinky got to meet her sister. And for those of you that don't know, my daughter is adopted. She is one of my sister's kids. So biologically, she's my niece, but she's my daughter. So she got to meet her sister today, or Thursday. which was amazing. Had a little bumps in the beginning, but they got along really well by the end of the visit, and it was really nice to be able to be there for her birthday. I mean, that's a child that has never left the hospital since she was born. Literally, she's never known what home was. Home to her right now is a hospital with nurses and other sick kids in rooms around her. So it was really nice to be able to take a moment and just celebrate her, especially because, you know, early on when we first found out how sick she was going to be, they did give my sister the option to terminate, and to see her at a year old and thriving is amazing. So that was a very large high this week. So, like, yeah.
Yeah, see, I think my low has to be the fact that the plan for Heaven's birthday party got changed.
Yes.
It was supposed to be on Sunday so that I could go out because Heaven is supposed to come home
Yeah.
to us.
Yeah.
I'm going to be helping.
The children's birthdays are the only way that you can really kind of skirt around COVID. They only allow 4 people in the room at a time, but they allow as many people there for their birthdays, which is why he was going to be able to meet her.
Now, don't get me wrong, Princess and I are very capable of adapting and learning once she gets home.
Yeah.
And Princess wasn't going to get to go out there because of our custody agreements. But I think that just not being able to go was kind of sucky.
Yeah.
My other low is starting physical therapy. Made me realize how bad my knees are. I was a runner in high school. I'll be 32 here in like 2 weeks.
I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it.
She's the old lady. She's a cradle robber.
No, not nearly. Not nearly.
Not
We
quite.
still would have seen each other in high school. Like,
Maybe. Maybe if it was a junior, senior high. No, probably.
probably, because I didn't. My birthday was. We're not going to talk about that. So, anyways, you're going to be 32.
Yeah. So I was a runner in high school, so my knees are jacked from running and running and climbing and hiking and everything I did in my young 20s. So they're coming back to haunt me. So that's kind of like crappy to like realize how craptastic your body's getting. On the high note, I've gotten to spend the whole weekend with my little one. I get to spend next weekend with my little one.
Yeah.
And it was kind of just a Lou and I weekend, and it was a lazy weekend, but Princess and I just kind of hung out, and we definitely spent a lot of time together. And we didn't do our highs and lows last week, and one of the highs of last week was dance recital.
Yep. I don't know if you would count that as another low that I celebrated a birthday this week too. For me, it's a low. It's a low.
No, we're still both very young at heart.
That's true.
So that's our highs and lows for the week. There's not going to be any section this week on our D&D characters. Normally yesterday would have been our D&D session, but with Jen being in Pittsburgh and me having the little one, we didn't participate. I don't think the group participated. Mm-hmm. I think the next session we have is on my birthday, which is exciting. So yeah, we'll have to grab like cupcakes to share with the guys before we go over.
Sounds great.
If any of the guys are watching, we'll probably bring cupcakes to share to celebrate my birthday while we're playing D&D, because we're playing on my birthday, which I'm totally okay with, because I very much enjoy D&D. We haven't had any comments.
I'd just like to check.
Yeah. So our topic this week, like I said, kind of like our Mother's Day topic that may have rolled some heads.
Yeah.
This week we're gonna Shout out to all of the dads out there. Shout out to Opa, my dad over in California. Pap, my non-biological dad, who kind of was my dad as far as I knew for the last 30 years over in Delaware. My pappy, who has been the largest father figure to me. Great gentleman.
Yes.
And of course, all of you, everyone on your side.
Yeah.
We love all of our dads.
Yeah. But just before we get talking, I'm pretty sure the rest of this conversation could be heavy. So if there's going to be discussion of divorced parents, biological parents, and finding out at a later age about your biological parent, I don't know if you're going to go into anything about your stepdad today or not, or if that's for a whole nother.
That's a whole nother topic.
Just letting you know, there may be some topics that are hard for people to deal with. If you feel that you are going to struggle, please seek help if you need it. And we are not going to be upset if you do not watch the rest of this.
Yeah.
Just take
part
care
of
you.
Me being able to talk about some of the stuff that has happened to me, not only as a dad, but as a son, is because of years and years of therapy.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it any easier, though. The biggest thing I wanted to talk about this year for Father's Day is more of parental alienation. And don't get me wrong, that happens to both mothers and fathers. But in a lot of states, we still run into, our state, Pennsylvania, is considered an equal opportunity state when it comes to custody. The caveat of that is that it is based on the judge to determine best for the child. Unfortunately, many of the judges in our state still hold to a lot of the laws that are written in very one gender oriented specific ways, so towards the mother. 9 times out of 10, a custody arrangement, despite the situation, will always go in favor of the mom, no matter what county you're in Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, even despite the law changes, things are that. Dads who, I know this was something that I struggled with at the beginning of my being a dad. I didn't get to hold my daughter till she was over a month old. I didn't find out my ex was pregnant until she was 5 months pregnant, and we had been broken up for 4 months. So then we talked for like 2 months. I was accused of raping her, which wasn't true. I didn't lose my virginity till her, and I was a week away from my 25th birthday. So, like, if I was going to wait that long, I could have kept waiting.
Yeah.
Father alienation is definitely something that's an issue. I don't have the exact statistics with me, but the majority of suicides in men occur because of dads not being able to see their kids. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of guys out there who get lots of people pregnant, don't give a crap, don't pay their child support, don't do what they're supposed to be doing, and it makes it harder on dads like myself, who do everything I can for my kid, do everything I can to provide for her. I make sure that when I get a significant raise in my salary, I let child support know, like, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to, but I see my daughter every other week and for 3 hours on one night a week. Like, I've always wanted to be a dad. For me, that has not wanted me to commit suicide. There are days that I get really low. Stretches of time I don't see my daughter for more than a week or 2 weeks, and you can ask her, I get in a funk. Mm-hmm. When you pour all your love and everything into someone, it's difficult. Dads have it. I mean, moms have a hard time because you guys go through labor and we appreciate everything you do. But when it comes to divorce, when it comes to separation, my mom's been divorced twice. My stepdad was a pastor, wasn't great to me. We'll get to that another time. My dad, who I thought my dad was hit or miss there and not there. It's kind of a like, if he wanted to be around, he came and he was around, and I have some good memories with him. But it's kind of one of those things now. As a dad, I'm kind of like, if he wants to be a part of our lives, he can be a part of our lives. Yeah. Flip side of that, I found out 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, 2.5 years ago.
No, a year and a half. We just had 1 year.
Cool. A year and a half ago, a little over a year and a half ago, I found out that my biological dad wasn't my dad.
No. That who you thought was your dad.
Who I thought was my biological dad was not really my dad. Yeah. I got a DNA test for Christmas, did the DNA test on Ancestry.com, not expecting a whole lot from it. I mean, how many of you would go do a DNA test and think, okay, you're going to find like a match that's like half of your chromosomes?
Yeah.
Like, I was hopeful too, but at the same time, I wasn't getting my hopes up. Like, there's 4 or 5 different places that do DNA tests. Mm-hmm. Not all of those let you link with people.
Right.
So the chances of having that person who has as much of a match of DNA to you, taking the same test as you, and saying, yes, go ahead and share my information.
Yeah.
Because you can keep that to yourself and private and not let people know that you're connected to them. Well, end of January, I got the results. I kind of got the results I was expecting. My dad, who I thought was my dad, wasn't my dad. My name is a French-Canadian last name, so I knew if I got results back that didn't have any sort of French lineage, he wasn't really my dad. Well, most of my lineage is Upper Germanic, English, Celtic, Norse.
Yeah.
So kind of the Viking and Celt area of the world. Well, not only that, a couple weeks later when I was able to log into Ancestry and see my matches, obviously you find some people who are like second cousins or like 6 cousins like 2 times removed.
Yeah.
Like the amount of DNA that matches chromosomal DNA that matches is very, very small. They have, there's like 7 million or billion or something like that markers for the chromosomes that they test.
Yeah.
Well, I had a result of someone who matched 3.5 million or billion of those.
Yeah.
Half of my chromosomes.
Yeah.
Like, obviously I know who my mom is.
Yeah.
I've lived with my mom for forever. My mom was in the military when she was going to have me and thought she was going to have to put me up for adoption. Yeah. So I can kind of feel for heaven.
Yeah.
Her whole situation there's been times that I've had to step back and say, I can't help your sister because it hits too close to home.
Yeah.
Like, I've gone through a lot, and that's why I am who I am today. Well, I sent a message out to the guy who matched as my dad and sat there months and months and months with no response. And I got to the point at the end of May when I started talking to you where I was like, well, I sent a message. At this point, I'm not really expecting much. It was kind of one of those things. I'd been going through therapy. My therapist was like, write something up. Don't send it right away. Read it over. Send it when you're comfortable. He's like, then you've done everything you can to reach out. And if he responds, like, that's on the ball's in his court at that point. Like, you've done everything you can. June of last year, about this time last year, I got a message out of the blue on Facebook as a response to my Ancestry message. Well, we got to introduce it to Chuck, who's my dad. We call him Opa because that's what he goes by. It's German for grandfather. So he's Opa to Princess. And he's been great.
Yeah.
I have to apologize if he's watching if you're watching this, Opie, I apologize that I've not been so forthright. It's been a very challenging year for me to accept having a dad who wants to be a dad. Part of my style of being a dad is being everything that the people who were dad to me weren't, and trying to even be a remote fraction of what a great person my grandfather is.
Yeah.
So it's not easy. Dads are just as important as moms. You don't have a good dad and you remember it. You start doing things to rebel or lash out, and like a dad's love is different. And I know there's a lot of you guys out there today that are just struggling. I've worked with some guys who Father's Day is hard because they don't get to see their kid.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd do if I couldn't see my kid on Father's Day. I don't know what I'd do if I couldn't see my kid as much as for as little time as I did. If I didn't see her for as much as I did, I would be a much different person.
Yeah.
We go through court and custody, and with hopes that I can be more of a dad, but I always get blown down. It doesn't get any easier for any of you out there who are going through custody and whatnot. Moms or dads, it doesn't get any easier unless you two, as a couple, choose to decide to do what's best for your kid. Mother's and Father's Days, it's great, but we wouldn't be moms and dads without our kids. So just remember that. Like, our kids are what should come first. And for me, Lauren was like, I'm going to make you a goofy, trashy piece of cardboard. Which is fine. And I told Lauren, kiddo, the only thing Daddy needs for Valentine or for Father's Day is to be able to spend the day with you.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I wanted, was a day with my kid. I know lately you've been having some troubles on the dad front, but that comes from a different perspective.
That's a totally different angle.
Yeah, it's one of those things where she and I have talked, and I was like, I get crappy dads.
And it's not that my dad's a bad guy. You know what I mean? Just recent events have made our outlooks on situations different. And that's been hard to wrap my brain around.
Do you think... Sorry, I'm changing the subject.
No.
Any of you who have watched our Thingz Talkz before will know that we jump around like rabbits.
Yeah.
So I know with my non-biological dad, some of how he parents depends on his partner and the influence that he has because of his current partner. Do you think that could be some of what's affecting your dad's outlook?
It could have a factor. I don't know that it's like the main thing, because I mean, I've never had a problem with his girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like, she's always been nice to me. She's treated Anna nice, you know.
Well, just because they treat you nice doesn't mean that they have family.
But she hasn't given me a reason specifically to say she's the reason.
Okay. That's, I know, like, my non-biological dad, how he changes depending. It's not that his current wife or girlfriend's a bad person. It's just that.
Yeah. Well, you have to figure, though, my parents were together 30 years.
Yeah.
This is the first woman other than my mother that he's been with.
Yeah.
So I have no idea. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that puts that in perspective. I was almost 31 when my parents got divorced. You were how old?
4.
Okay. So
4,
right there,
and then
like, like, I'm not trying to say,
4
but
and then
like,
18 was the second divorce.
But like, I don't know. This is all new territory for me, where you've been there. So when I come to you going, oh, you're like, I get it. I know where you're coming from. Like, I get it, you know. And I'm sorry that it happened to you, but at the same time, I'm so glad that I don't have to like try to explain it to somebody that doesn't understand. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, sometimes when we do these thing talks, I realize how much utter shit I've gone through in my life.
yeah, I know.
Like,
I know.
hopefully I can be an example to someone.
Yeah.
Just because you've gone through shit doesn't mean that your life has to be shit.
No, it doesn't.
We choose our destiny. We choose what kind of dad we are. We choose what we're going to do. And I wish that I know for the Mother's Day one, we had a somewhere that if you wanted to, you could go donate to. I don't have anything for that today. Unfortunately, when it comes to fathers' rights and dads and everything, we live in a society right now that doesn't always want to accept that.
Yeah.
And because we have lots of gay and lesbian and bi friends, and we love all of you, but I know that for the last several years, because Father's Day falls in Pride Month, there's a lot of movement to just try to like push away a Father's Day. And I mean, do I really need a day to celebrate being a dad? No, because every moment I get with my daughter is a celebration of fatherhood.
Yeah.
Now, plans for the future as a dad, for any little boys who find this later and are watching this, if you come in our house and there's a battle axe hanging on the wall labeled birth control, no, I am highly likely to not be afraid to heat it up an edge and use it.
Stop. Girl isn't even old enough to date yet. Stop.
She had a little boy from her class come to her dance recital.
Really?
Yeah.
That's adorable.
I think his older sister's in her dance studio, but
That's still adorable. That's a keeper right there. I'm sorry. Like what 6-year-old boy wants to sit through a dance recital?
he
Like,
came up to her afterwards to tell her how good she did.
oh my god. I didn't know that. How stinking cute. See, and I'm sitting here going, oh, honey, you might be a keeper. And you're going, no. No, it's too early to start this.
No boys.
What about girls?
No, I don't care which way they go. There's no dating till they're 30.
How'd that work out for you, honey?
I didn't have my first relationship till I was 17, and it was non-sexual.
Sex or no sex, you still had a significant partner before you were 30.
I just say that right now.
Go ahead, finish your talk. I'll quit harassing you.
I don't think I have anything else to add to it.
No.
I know there's probably more that I could add, and I'll think of it later, but we just wanted to broach. Our Thingz Talkz is still very new, so we're just starting to broach topics.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give us hate if you want, but if you don't like what we have to say, well, there's the door, and don't let it hit you in the butt on the way out.
Yeah.
I think we feel that there's topics and conversations that the world needs to start having, and one of the things of our channel and plans of our channel is to start broaching those subjects.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add.
No, I mean about the whole father alienation thing when it comes to the court system. It's true. I mean, I watched it happen to one of my really good friends. You know, what had a roof over his head, a solid roof over his head, like inherited a farm, solid roof over his head. Worked the same job since he was old enough to start working. Had no criminal history, was a solid guy, and his son's mom was someone that was always at the bar. The child was always being cared for by grandma. The, living in Section 8 housing, which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Please don't misunderstand this. What I'm saying is that she was taking him for child support, plus she couldn't hold down a job. And it wasn't because of the kid. There was her grandmother, her mother, there was daycare, there was school, and he still kept consistently getting passed up for more than every other weekend. Like, he only had every other weekend and was shelling out half his paycheck. Now, I am not saying that fathers should get away with not helping out if they want to be a deadbeat. However, children should not be used as a paycheck. Okay? She was using him as a paycheck. When he's struggling to put food in his mouth, and she was out going to the bar every weekend, getting her nails done, getting the newest technology, getting new tattoos, all kinds of stuff.
New piercings, new clothing.
Yeah.
And I have weekends where I'm like, you'll have enough food for Lauren this weekend because I'll live on crackers all week if I have to.
And, it's a shame, that it does happen to so many men out there. I mean, it got to the point where he was involved with another woman between his son and, one of who he's with now. And she had fallen pregnant, and rather than fight the system for another child that he was not going to be able to see and have to pay for, he just went ahead and signed his rights over, because she was going to fight him every step of the way. She was not going to let him see him. She was not going to let him get to know him. Nothing. And he's like, you know what? I'm already fighting a losing battle. Like,
and that's unfortunately what it is.
It is.
It's because not only do I have to figure out how to pay for all my bills, but in order to try to get any more rights for my daughter, and don't get me wrong, we love my lawyer, but I'm shelling out thousands of dollars to a lawyer to get nowhere.
Yeah. And it's not the lawyer's fault. It's the system. The system is broken. And it's supposed to be nonpartisan, and it's definitely very biased. Very biased. So no, I've seen the struggle in my friend. I've seen the struggle in you. It's nice that I can be here to help you with it, but something's got to change. And there may be other states that aren't as skewed, but Pennsylvania's Pennsylvania's always been rooted in its old ways.
Yeah. Like I said, despite the laws aren't the problem. Yeah. Unfortunately, it comes down to judges who have their opinions. I have a background in human services, and one of the classes I've had to take is human development. And I had to argue till my face was blue with a lawyer about the fact that human development-wise, a child needs both parents present at a very young age to be able to get dads and moms provide different things to kids, and kids need that as they grow up. And I feel sometimes the more that I'm not with Lauren, the more that Lauren doesn't, or Princess, wants to be, when we get to bedtime or we get to things that she doesn't want, she doesn't want to be with daddy, she wants to be with mommy. And I don't know if she does the same thing while she's with mommy saying she wants to be with me, but it's kind of that mommy's the routine, so I don't even get an opportunity to do things.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean I love my daughter any less.
No.
I look forward to seeing her and talking to her, and I do. Anna's not even remotely mine, or Stinky. I apologize. We have our code names.
No, it's fine.
My brain's not functioning on those right now. But when Stinky's here, she's treated like my own, and the same is going to go for Heaven when she gets home.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes for me, Heaven coming home for me is an opportunity to actually be
a full-time dad. Yeah. Yeah.
So, just know if you're out there and you hear this at some point, if you want to email us and talk to one of us about what's going on, our email is dndandthings@gmail.com. Obviously, if you're going to start sending us spam and crap, we will block you on places. But if you need a place to talk and you don't want to make it public by putting in the comments, you can email us. We are more than welcome.
Message us on any of the social media platforms.
Yep. We are here no matter what you're going through. Between the two of us, we've been through enough shit to pasture a full-fledged farm that's producing for a small country. So one of us can probably sympathize because we've been through it. Because there is a difference between empathy and sympathy.
Yeah.
So, but we can get into that conversation another time.
Yeah. Just know that if you do reach out to us, if we don't give you personal information, it is nothing against you. We have a lot that we cannot discuss. We're hitting on topics, but we still have to be vague. And if we don't put it out there and we won't say it to you in private, it's nothing against you. And we have no problem still communicating to you about what you would like to talk about. And we can tell you how we relate to it without giving you information that could make our situations worse.
And have no problem helping you link to the correct supports that you might need.
Exactly.
That's what I do for a living.
Nothing wrong with getting help. I've been through therapy. I should probably be back in therapy. You've been through therapy. There's nothing wrong.
I work with therapists.
Yeah.
And psych doctors, and so though I love streaming and doing these things for me, I have a full-time job that I love, so this is a part-time thing. Mm-hmm. At some point in time, Miss Rosa is going to be taking over the majority of our channel, hopefully.
Not the streaming part. That'll probably still be him, mostly. I'll be doing a lot of the back end.
Yeah, most of the video game streaming. But we're hoping that at some point we can get her kind of working full time here doing that, and it takes you guys supporting us.
Yep.
And so to close out, the first way you can support us is by going and checking out Humble Bundle. For those of you who follow our channel and are nerds, I know that right now there is a cosplay bundle that has different resources at varying levels. All of their major bundles, you donate what you want, anywhere from $1 up to whatever amount you want, and depending on how much you donate, depends on how much goodies you get. And most of that donation some of that goes to support the products being offered. A lot of that goes to a charity. Of course, if you go through our page, some of that's also going to go to support us. So right now I know they have a cosplay one, so those of you who are cosplayers or who are interested in getting into cosplay and making your own costumes for cosplay, it's a great resource there. I think one of the other resources right now is for those of you who are online tabletoppers in D&D and other kinds of games. There's another bundle that gives maps and tokens and all of that kind of fun stuff to use on your D&D table. Of course, there's always a Humble Choice where you get 12 games for $13.99. And then the Humble Store has a whole lot of video games they always have deals going on. We have a video that should be coming out here in the next couple weeks I think we're going to do a whole series of the game because it was fun.
Yeah.
But a couple months ago they were doing a sale on zombie games, and we picked up a game called Zombie Vikings that for me reminds me a lot of Castle Crashers. For any of you hardcore Xbox people who remember Castle Crashers, Zombie Vikings kind of has a Castle Crashers feel to it.
It's amazing.
And I think we got it for like at most $5. I think it might have even been like $2.
Yeah.
So there's lots of good deals. So make sure you go check that out. The other thing you can do is go to our support Streamlabs support page, and you can donate to us right there. Or if you go to our Wicker page, our Wicker link, I think our Wicker link is in. I know if you're on Twitch, there's a little link on the side by our D&D and things that'll take you to our Wicker or whatever it's called, and there's a spot there that you can click to support us as well. And we appreciate all the support. We are a startup stream, and so there's a lot of costs in that, and we want to be able to continue to bring you more content. Thank you again to all of the love that's coming in over on YouTube. I think the last we checked, we were almost at 150 subscribers. So that is, thank you everyone for all of the views, all of the subscriptions. It helps us out a lot. It helps more people find us. And so we're just utterly thankful. There still is a goal. We still need to get, what was it, like 1,000? 1,000 unique subscribers or followers across on YouTube,
and to get 10,000 on TikTok.
Yeah. Both of those have to occur, and this beard will become glitterified.
Oh, we can't do that without the girls.
No. What will happen? We'll make sure that there's some video footage that we can utilize. It will not be a live stream, I don't think.
No.
But we will definitely get things going with the girls helping to put glitter throughout my beard. And glitter will be the death at me at some point because I find it everywhere. But in the meantime, make sure you continue to be a beautiful, unrepeatable miracle, also known as a bum. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye-byes.
Happy Father's Day!
No, not that one.